Jay-R Strowbridge is unique in the spelling of his name, J-A-Y. He says it came from his favorite recording artist in third grade, Jay-Z. Jay-R is also unique in his journey to Oregon. Nick has more on the senior point guard who isn't your normal basketball vagabond.
As a freshman, he played at the Rose Garden, not with the Ducks, but against Oregon when he suited up for the Cornhuskers of Nebraska. Since then, Jay-R Strowbridge has moved to his third school.
It's been a long journey, but it's been well worth it.
Looking at Jay-R's resume, it certainly seems like he's a well-traveled basketball player. But he didn't leave Nebraska on bad terms. It wasn't for academics, and it wasn't with a problem with the coaching staff. He left to be closer to loved ones during a family crisis.
It was a tough night. I'll never forget it. Christmas Day, it was around like 8 o'clock. I seen him, gave him a big hug. He just told me continue to keep doing well and just keep grinding, keep working hard. And then probably a few hours later, it was around 11:49. I got the call, and it was very drastic. It was very life-changing.
Jay-R's cousin, who he says was more like a brother, was murdered on Christmas night 2007.
My mother started getting sick and all this stuff, so my decision was to, transfer closer back to home, make sure everything was good with my family.
Strowbridge attributes his courage through a tough family tragedy of losing his cousin to the military upbringing by his father while growing up in Kentucky and Alabama.
That military background definitely helped me to the man I am today.
After moving in with his family and graduating from Jacksonville State, the sociology undergrad is getting another chance to play ball.
Of course, I had this opportunity to play my senior year, so that's definitely a blessing. Also pursuing my master's, so I feel like that's a 2-for-1 deal right there.
It's a 2-for-1 deal for the Ducks as well. Not only do they gain a veteran point guard, but also a team leader.
Being on the East Coast and down south, I used to see these games like, what would it be like to play at University of Oregon? Even my freshman year when we played, I was like, what would it be like, to play there? And now I'm having this opportunity. I feel like it's kind of a new era, here at Oregon basketball.
Well, sometimes things just have a way of working out, and so far it's been pretty good for Jay-R, third on the team in scoring.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys where a team that needs some senior leadership, he's a guy that brings that, a team that, Oregon State doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of that. They got to count on a whole lot of young guys to get it done for them. They grew up about an hour away from each other in Sydney, Australia, but it wasn't really until a couple of summers ago during elite AAU ball in Chicago when Rhys Murphy and Angus Brandt became fast friends on the floor. We'll get the down low of the two mates from down under.
What's the biggest thing you guys miss about being back at home?
Friends, just like the day-to-day life, that's the biggest thing. I always say, I'm having so much fun here, I don't miss home that much. I'm on a big adventure.
Going all these cities, growing up we'd only heard about and still seen in movies or something, and never thought we'd go to the White House or anything like that.
We beat two of our last prime ministers to the White House to meet Obama. We just elected a new prime minister this year, and she hasn't been there yet. So we beat her and the last guy. So
you guys are royalty.
Cool. Yeah, pretty much.
So he committed, and then I committed, and then he told me that he had, and then I was like, oh, me too.
But I'm glad it worked out like this. I'm really glad that we're at the same school because we it's always someone that knows kind of what you're going through, so it makes it easier.
Yeah, how does that help out? Obviously, if you get to a whole new place, you don't know anybody, but that's not the case. At least you have somebody that can kind of understand your background, understand how you tick a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely good. It definitely helps with, not missing home. You can go and talk to someone about the cricket scores or something.
If you don't like cricket, I can tell you it's a real bummer.
So cricket was kind of your thing as a kid, growing up, following, watching, rooting for?
Yeah, it's like the big cultural,
it's like in summer, that's it. It's just like cricket.
It's kind of like baseball here.
It's like a part of summer.
If you don't like cricket, I can tell you it's a real bummer. That because cricket is the #1 game in town.
It seems like the last couple of years where you kind of get off to a few non-conference stumbles a little bit, but then it seems to pick up before you get into Pac-10.
Yeah. Hopefully that's the plan.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Tough break, though, for Murphy. Broke his foot the first practice of last year, missed the whole year. Now, since shooting that interview, he underwent surgery on his hand. and could be lost for the season. But Angus is a guy that is there, and he's bulked up a little bit too.
Yeah, and at 6'10", seems like he can do a few things. So cricket, the #1 game in the town. In
Summer especially, and if you got a problem with that, then hey,
yeah,
hit the skids.
They've heard of Peyton Manning or Michael Vick or anybody like that. Yeah,
it's further down the list. Cricket's #1. Basketball, they said way down.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, the Golden Bears' regular season title last season was the first for the school in 50 years, but the Bears lost nearly everything off that team. Still to come on Inside the Pack. We'll go around the Pac-10 and look at who's on the way up and who's not.